Opening back up.
All right, so we're recording, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to edit anything out, but
That's okay. That'll be like the incentive for people to go watch it on YouTube.
yeah. So hold on while I get a beer.
Holding on. This will be just absolutely riveting for people to see. It's just me sitting here waiting for Mike
Oops.
to get a beer, and he keeps forgetting shit and dropping it. So as you can tell, this is the high production quality that we've really been going for. So we wait for Mike to grab it. What beer will Mike have tonight? Will it be a cheap beer, or will it be a more refined beer? Let's find out. Mike, what kind of beer do you have?
That would be a Boston Lager or Boston Sam Adams Winter Lager. I'm sorry, I'm spent.
But it's not winter.
I haven't. Well, you can tell how long the beer's been in my fridge.
It's aged.
Just like me.
There you go. I was hoping I wouldn't have to make the joke. Yeah, take it.
You sure got a pretty mouth.
That
Shot that
didn't work
sucker all
out.
the way across the room.
Really? Because it looked like it went straight down
It went straight over there on the other side of the room.
after it went down and bounced off your desk.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so as we get ready for the show, I have another question from Dave Franklin. Did you see it? Did you get to listen to it?
I did.
It's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
So I want to access that, get it ready to be pulled up, maybe do a test.
Cue the question.
Let's do the test.
Test the question.
Testing the question.
Hopefully I can hear the whole damn thing this time.
What's going on, guys? David
Can you
from
hear it?
516 Woodworks
So far,
here.
so good.
Yes,
Okay, so just so you know, I just wanted to test it.
Hold on. Is it still playing?
No, I paused it.
Okay. Let it play.
No, because then people are going to know what
No.
the question is.
Not the entirety of the question, but this is the problem that we've been having. I can hear like the beginning portion of it.
Yeah.
But then it just hard cuts.
I know, and
So
the first
let
time it did it, I had it on my end. It was fine. But the last time when you said that, when I was editing the podcast, it actually cut off. It didn't record in the roadcaster.
Okay.
So I had to add it manually. So let's play it and let's see.
famous now that my question got played on a internationally famous podcast.
Okay.
So on my way home,
All right. So,
Okay.
So far, so good, right?
It's gonna fuck up again.
Oh wait, I want to take you out of the roadcaster audio. So speak.
Speaking, saying words.
Okay.
Can Mike hear those words?
God bless it. Yes, I can still hear you.
This is, but
It's
folks,
recording.
this is the shit
There
that
we
we
go.
go through
Every day.
every
week.
fucking week
20 weeks in a row.
for seriously the entirety of this.
Someone asked me at work if we were going to have, when does our first season end? And I said that it doesn't. Maybe December 31st.
So that's I know that some podcasts do that where they have like a set season of so many episodes and then they stop.
Right.
And they take a break. And then there's others that like the what was it, the Drinking Bros podcast I was telling you about. They seriously put out an episode like every day.
Well, my question to you was, do we want to break for like December? So we're off December. I mean, because I'm going to have a lot of Christmas stuff to build in the shop.
Yeah, same here. I think around, like for me, things are going to get real busy around October because that's when I call it the birthday season because I got my son,
Yeah.
my oldest and my youngest in December, my middle daughter in December, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. So if we wanted, maybe on a holiday schedule of every other week,
All right.
that might work out a
we could
little
slow
bit.
it down and then the first of the year go back to normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, if something major happens, we can always decide to do an emergency episode.
Yeah. Okay.
And come in with like a breaking news sound.
Like this?
No.
Well, we don't.
Real,
That's our news sound. Okay.
Yeah, but like breaking news. Dun, dun, dun.
I looked for a bunch of breaking news sound effects that are free that I don't have to pay for. That's the best one I found. White Sox won.
I know.
Woohoo!
Giants won too.
Whatever.
They've been like they've won something like 12 out of their last 13.
Wow.
And have lost a game in the standings
to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the Dodgers and Giants are just son of a bitch.
What?
Something happened where like oh, there we go. Okay. It was like iCloud preferences. And it like completely swiped away the screen. So I thought it just completely dropped everything. I was like, God damn it, motherfucker.
That's nice. So you're tired and you want to have a short show, which never really turns out.
Never happens. Never happens.
We will try because I only have a few things from work. I did want to just do a couple news stories because I didn't really have anything happening at work.
I've got a couple of things that happened at work. Like I got a fentanyl overdose and then a piddly DV that I don't feel good about.
All right. The news story was they're just short, and I thought they were important. So, and we have 4 fallen officers as of yesterday, or this morning when I was doing this at my side job.
Yeah.
So I haven't checked back, but we'll see when I go back into it live, I guess.
I don't think we have any more.
Okay. So we will start.
Let's light this candle.
Let's light the candle. Oh, and I have some housekeeping to fix.
Some housekeeping from your housekeeping?
Yes.
Housekeeping.
Who's there? Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
You want me wet your pee-pee?
What
What kind of hotel is this? Classic. Okay. Quiet down. It's a bad time.
Hello, everybody. Mike's like trying to deep throat a Boston lager here.
It's a bad time for my beer to be pouring over.
His duties of welcoming everybody to the show. So I guess I'll take it over. Welcome to the Handcuffs and Sawdust podcast.
What episode are we
out of like 20 or something?
20.
It's not a quiz, Mike. Let me do my I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly, okay? Welcome to the show. That idiot over there is Mike Morazzo. I'm Brandon Silvera.
Hi.
And hi, Jesus.
How you doing?
Well, honestly, or
yeah, no, we don't sugarcoat shit on this show. So
yeah, well, to put it bluntly, I'm pissed off.
I saw that in our Instagram Live.
Yeah.
What's got your ear? Ire. How's that? Whatever. How's it worded?
Is it ear? I was gonna go with like what's got my goat or what grinds my gears.
Okay.
You know what grinds my gears, Mike?
What?
It's when we used to have a policy as a country of we do not negotiate with terrorists, and then we come into this century and now we're negotiating with terrorists.
Did we negotiate or just give up shit?
Well, we negotiated under Trump, and then under Biden, we just gave them things. Well, not necessarily directly gave them. It's not like we said, "Hey, here, Taliban, have this." It was more like, "Hey, we're going to give it to a group of people that we know don't have the stomach for a fight, and they're going to leave it laying around, and we're not going to go pick it up."
So maybe,
and then
since you were in the military, you can help me with that.
And then we're going to leave thousands of American citizens and people who, at great risk to their life and the life of their families, decided to help us. And then we're going to leave them more or less high and dry while we sit there and watch people get blown up.
And fall off the side of airplanes as they're taking off.
Because
know
they're
what that
that
was about.
desperate.
Yeah.
They're that desperate to get away from the Taliban. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Because it's a terrorist organization. It's not a government.
Didn't Tom Cruise do that, though, on one of his movies? He held onto the side of an airplane. So maybe they saw that movie.
They saw Mission Impossible.
One of
I
the-
forget
yeah.
which iteration it was,
Right.
but yeah.
And they thought maybe they could do it, but those straps just weren't strong enough or their grip wasn't.
Yeah.
And it didn't work well.
So
I didn't, like I told you in our pre-live, I had no idea what was happening today because I was sleeping, because I sleep during the day.
yeah,
And
I got
then-
home as that news was breaking, as we were finding out that not only had there been a suicide bombing at the Kabul airport,
Kabul or Kabul?
Kabul, potato. But we had also lost Americans as well as Afghan civilians. So as it stands now, we're at 13 dead American service members and I believe 60 Afghan civilians, including children, by the way.
60.
And 60 plus. And the president, I'll give him this, he at least came out and said, we'll hunt you down and make you pay.
Did he? I didn't see that. 'Cause
Yeah,
like I
he
said, I haven't seen the
came
news.
out around 5 Eastern and had a short speech where it looked like he was on the verge of tears the entire time and looked incredibly weak. So my big thing, and I think the big thing with a lot of veterans, at least a lot of the veterans that I've talked to, because I know I mentioned it during the pre-show, my phone has been hot to the touch because I've been in contact with guys that have been in Afghanistan. I have friends that have died in Afghanistan, and they are struggling, the ones that have come back. They're having a hard time with this. And the big thing, like military has kind of got two big rules, right? One is we don't negotiate with terrorists, right? I think that's been pretty universal since, my entire life. But we also don't leave anybody behind. Like, we take that shit personally. So to not move heaven and earth to go get our people and the people who, quite frankly, saved American lives during the past 20 years is just unfathomable to us. I don't understand how you sleep knowing that there are thousands, tens of thousands of Americans and American allies that are sitting there terrified. They are terrified that they are going to be hunted down and beheaded. And as an administration, you sit there and you say, no, everything's fine. We're going to get out everybody who wants to get out. And I've noticed that they've used that messaging, right? Anyone who wants to get out, so that any American that stays there that they can't get to, or they refuse to get to, that can't get to the airport, that can't make it past the Taliban checkpoints that are set up 360 degrees around that airport, those ones that died, they're going to say, well, they didn't want to leave. That I can already tell you that's what's going to happen. And then to find out that they're giving the Taliban a list of names of people so that when they show up to the checkpoint, we're going to trust that the Taliban will let them through and not kill them. I don't understand the naivety of these people. I cannot wrap my tiny little brain around it. Because what we should be doing is we should immediately secure routes, safe, secure passage to the airport, and anybody that stands in opposition of that should be killed. Anybody who tries to interfere with the rescue operation of American citizens and American allies should be killed. Anybody who attacks an American serviceman or an American civilian or an Afghan ally should be killed. Anybody who tries to interfere with planes landing into that airfield should be killed. And then once we get all of our people out, we destroy every piece of equipment that we left behind. Just like in Jocko's little video he put out there. He hit the nail on the head. Anybody seen in close proximity to these weapons, guarding these weapons or using these weapons will be killed. Simple as that.
For people that don't know who Jocko is, please let them know so they can check that out.
So Jocko Willnick is a former SEAL team commander. He has his own podcast. I think it's just called like the Jocko Show or something like that. He's the author of Extreme Ownership. And I think he's one of the owners of Echelon Front that goes through and teaches leadership classes to people who need leadership skills, which I would argue should be every single member of Congress and the current presidential administration, because so far I have seen absolutely zero leadership from anybody in elected office in Washington, in the state of California, in Santa Clara County, in San Benito County, and in
Cook
several
County.
towns. Well, I can't speak to Cook County because
I can.
I don't deal with that. I deal with Santa Clara and San Benito County.
So I'm telling you.
And I can tell you there is absolutely no leadership. Like it's
a pandemic that way, a leadership pandemic.
There's not a ton that gets me super fired up. This gets me super fired up. Like it got me riled up to the point I wrote all three of my federal representatives, both senators and my congressional rep. First time.
I've never done that, but good for you for doing that.
Well, I went on a Facebook rant too of like kind of calling out this quote silent majority that we always hear so much about of like, oh, the silent majority is with you. Well, it's time for you to get a little loud.
Yeah, stop being so silent.
Like, when is enough enough? How many lives? How many lives do we have to lose? How many atrocities have to happen before you get off your ass? Before you do something, before you get out of your comfortable little bubble where all you care about is yourself and how you appear to everybody else on your friends list, because God forbid somebody unfriends you because you have the backbone to stand up for what you believe in.
I know there's people out there that do unfriend you for your political beliefs, and they're the first ones to say that we should be able to
freely
express ourselves, right? Yet,
as long as you agree with them.
Right. And one of my buddies at work that I speak about on this podcast quite a bit, Drew, he's a young guy. He's been on our department 4 years, came out of the University of Wisconsin. He's a Badger, and he had a lot of friends up there. But as soon as he put that uniform on and they started seeing him as a police officer, and these were people that were his good friends, gone. Just completely, they don't agree with law enforcement views and all that other bullshit. And I said to him, then they weren't your friends.
Yeah.
They were posers.
I've had family members that I haven't talked to since the riots. I've had people, I went and looked today. I've had several people unfollow me on Instagram and unfriend me on Facebook because today, like I kind of reached my breaking point today, to where I try to stay pretty apolitical about things. I kind of think politics and religion go hand in hand. Of like, kind of keep it to yourself. Nobody really cares what you think. But when it comes to this, like we're witnessing one of the greatest failures in international politics in world history. Like, this is like, we thought Benghazi was pretty bad, right? This is worse. We thought the fall of Saigon was pretty bad. Granted, I wasn't around to see that firsthand. I would argue that this is worse. This withdrawal has been an unmitigated failure. And I even agree with Biden on some things that we should probably, like, it's time. Like, it's time to leave. But the way you do things matters. You don't just leave your allies high and dry. You don't leave your citizens high and dry. You get them out, then you pull your equipment out, and then you pull the military out. Now, the equipment I can kind of understand because we were giving that to the Afghan National Army. That was stuff that we gave them, and it was all really nice 21st century warfighting stuff. But you're telling me you didn't know that they were, I mean, it's been 20 years. You didn't know that they didn't have the stomach for this fight? That's in the history of the world. People have tried to go and conquer Afghanistan time and time again. And time again, everybody has failed. Maybe we just leave it alone. We went in there with a singular reason to kill Osama bin Laden, anybody that had a hand in 9/11. We did that. We tried, I guess, to learn from how we left things in the 80s when we helped the Mujahideen get the Soviets out of there, and then we left them high and dry with no education or anything like that, and created Osama bin Laden. How many bin Ladens did we just create over the last 2 weeks? Something to think about. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox because I could go down the rabbit hole and we could do an entire show on this.
Well, I like the feedback from a veteran of like yourself, so you know, it affects all of us as Americans, but it hits home harder to you guys and women that served our country, and it has to be said. So, thanks.
So I will say this before we completely turn the page. If you know anybody that has served in the military, any branch, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Space Force, I guess, since 2001, reach out because they're hurting. I've reached out to probably no less than 50 people, and all of them said the same thing. Like, this one hits harder. So reach out. The text you send could save a life. And that's not hyperbole or me being dramatic. It literally could. You could literally prevent a suicide.
Right. All right. So you've blamed me in the past for being heavy. And I'm normally heavy at the more the middle of the show.
Not easy to segue from that, is it, Mike?
No, as I have another sip of my beer.
Yeah, take a pull off of that. Gather your thoughts.
All right. So I have one piece of housekeeping.
Housekeeping? Is it housekeeping for your house cleaning?
Housekeeping. So last week I spoke of the car that my uncle told me was a 1958 Edsel, but I was so tired when we recorded the episode that I said that the grill of the vehicle, or the dashboard of the vehicle, looked like a vagina. It would have been hard to see the dashboard because he sent a picture of the front of the car, which was actually the grill of the vehicle that he thinks looks like a vagina, prompting him to be banned from Facebook for sexual violence promotion. Whatever. So, just get that out of the way.
Just to set the record straight.
I like setting the record straight. All right, so how was your week at work?
So it's been I'm super tired this week.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why. And this, like, I think it's, I don't know if important's the right word, but I think it gives people an insight into just that cops are human, right? So I'm not going to get into exactly what the family emergency was that we are currently still dealing with as a family, but my wife had to go out of town on Sunday night. I work Sunday night for those of you playing at home. So I was already set to work a midnight shift that night. And I am always of the opinion that your family should come first above all else. In my own personal pecking order, God, family, country.
Core.
Then job. Yeah, well, yeah, it's...
Oh, I'm sorry. I just
again,
watched A Few Good Men.
Like yeah, I was going to say, it's like it's a military thing. God, family, country. Like that's kind of the thing. Because America's pretty dope. Even though it's run by dopes.
Hold on.
Waiting for it.
Wait.
There we go.
I'm a little slow
I
now.
caught him off guard. He didn't know that was coming.
Right.
So, wife had to go out of town to deal with some family stuff. So, naturally, I call out because I'm going to stay home, take care of the kids. We got 3 kids. We got school stuff coming up on Monday, plus a toddler that needs to be cared for and 2 dogs. So, call out. That's what you got sick days for, right? So, my body, however, was rearing to go. And the day starts at 6:45 in the AM.
In the morning.
Yeah. So on next to no sleep, running kids around, going through the morning routine. Wife gets home midday. I, of course, can't fall asleep to take a nap, go to work, completely just gassed. And then that kind of sets the tone for the rest of your week. And then on my Friday, I had to go in 2 hours early to do it's called like trauma-informed care. So basically, it's a class that tells you, hey, you're exposed to a shitload of trauma. Please don't kill yourself.
Headline.
Yeah. So it was good stuff. Like they give you some good like resources. Like, hey, if you do need to reach out to talk to somebody, here's all these things that you can do. So we had, and of course, when stuff like this is going on, like worldwide, that frustrates you. Like naturally, there's going to be some things that happen on a smaller scale that frustrate you. So I'm guilty of not having the most patience with homeless people, especially the ones who deal with drug addiction and alcoholism and more or less choose to be homeless, because there's enough homeless services out there that all you really have to do is say, hey, I don't want to be homeless anymore. And guess what? You won't be homeless. There are so many organizations and programs out there that will help you out if you just don't want to be homeless. So we get a call of a male passed out in a tent, not conscious, not breathing. His girlfriend thinks that he's OD'd. So we fly over there, and sure enough, he ain't conscious and he ain't breathing.
Is the needle sticking out of his arm?
No. He snorted what he thought was cocaine.
What
However,
was it, Brian? Brandon. For a minute, I thought Brian Luke just joined us.
What the fuck's Brian? So, and I don't know if you guys have this problem out in Illinois, but in California, especially lately, we've seen a huge increase in fentanyl overdoses. People are using it to step on meth, and apparently now they're selling it as cocaine. So this dude ripped a big old gator tail of fentanyl, and thankfully you got enough Narcan in him to bring him back. But then and that's fine. Like I honestly don't care. You want to use drugs and kill yourself that way, that's fine. Just don't do it while I'm working, because it's kind of a pain in the ass for us. Like, it's a long process. We have to call the coroner, have to wait for the coroner to come out, collect you, and all this other stuff. It's a giant pain. So just do your drugs responsibly.
I don't think
If
that's
there
a thing.
is such a thing. So I start walking down the homeless camp going, hey, look, I don't care who has dope on them right now. What I care is, where did he get his dope from? Because it wasn't coke, it was fentanyl. And I've dealt with 3 overdoses in the last 2 weeks. And they've all been fentanyl related.
And you had those
So,
people that were
and
doing
the brother,
fentanyl that
and the
weren't
brothers
overdoses.
retard
Yeah.
that were just doing fentanyl, man. So that's what I want. I want the asshole that's putting fentanyl out on the street. And I must have asked about a half dozen homeless folks in this camp, hey, where'd he get his dope? Oh, man, we can't tell you that. Dude, I'm not asking you to tell me it was John Smith that lives over at 123 Main Street. Just point me in the direction. I'll figure it out. And then I give them the obligatory, like, hey, just freaking be careful because there's fentanyl in this shit. I'm tired of going to ODs. So it frustrates me when you're trying to help people and they refuse to be a part of the solution. So that was...
It used to frustrate me. Now I don't give a fuck.
Well, it's still frustrating for me because...
And it should be, because you're relatively new on the job.
Yeah.
And I hope you never lose that.
Yeah, me too. It is dwindling, though, because there's so many times where it's just like, God dang, man, like, help us out a little bit. And I think that's why cops get so jaded, is we get so tired of everybody just going, fix it. He's broke.
On your own, without my help.
Yeah. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to give you this problem. I'm going to give you this kid that's 15 years old that I have screwed up over the course of 15 years. I would like you to fix it in 15 minutes. Like, this shit can't be done. I can tell you the things that you need to do to reestablish dominance as a parent. Whether or not you do it is up to you. And the other thing was, so I hate the fact that domestic violence laws in California mandate that we shall make an arrest. Because sometimes you make an arrest and you feel dirty. So it was last night. Got a call. Male would like to report domestic violence. His soon-to-be ex-wife ripped his chain off his neck, scratching him, causing injury, and prevented him from seeing his children and being the loving father that he is. Yeah. So we show up, tells us the story, and essentially the story was, I was there to see my kids. She said, no, you can't see your kids. I went to leave. She then blocked my pathway, grabbed my chain, yanked it off, causing a scratch to my collarbone, and then I left. Okay, what's she going to say? Because I'm going to go talk to her. Well, I don't know. So, and he to his credit, he does have a little scratch. So he has an injury consistent with what his story is.
Okay.
Yeah, the way the law is written, that is felony domestic violence.
Felony?
Letter of the law.
California's so fucked up.
Domestic violence, like, they meet the criteria for the domestic partnership. Violence that causes a visible traumatic injury, which is a visible injury, is treated as felony domestic violence. Now, I don't think this case will even get filed. And if it does, it'll get pled down to misdemeanor domestic violence. Because there ain't no way, I have faith that no DA will try to get a felony conviction out of this. I have faith.
If one does, he needs to be hit upside the head with his law book.
Yeah, most of the family violence district attorneys are pretty solid people, so I have faith. So my partner and I go over to the ex-wife's house, have her come out. Hey, tell us about the argument you had with your husband. And she tells us, yeah, we got into an argument. He started walking towards me, and I put my hand out to keep him at a distance. And my ring got caught in his chain. And then when I pulled my hand away, it pulled his chain off.
And my tiny nail scratched him on accident.
Totally plausible. However, he's got the injury, and it's consistent with the story that she's corroborating. So she's got to go.
Who has the kids?
Thankfully, they have an adult son that's 23 years old that we left the younger kids with, because I was not like, I don't believe this guy. I think he forced a confrontation and took advantage of that situation.
Right.
So I wasn't about to call him and say, hey, you can come get your kids. It's 2:00 in the morning. They're asleep. They're going to stay with Big Brother. And then maybe you and Big Brother can talk tomorrow and come to some sort of resolution. Because I honestly think Big Brother's going to beat the crap out of Dad. And I'm kind of okay with that. So, yeah, it was one of those afterwards. I was talking to my partner too, and he's like, I just don't feel good about that. Yeah, neither do I. Like, that's...
Sometimes we have to do that stuff that we don't want to do because it's ordered upon us by law.
Yeah. And that's, we were explaining, thankfully, the oldest son was super understanding, because we told him, like, dude, like, we're bound by law. Like, if we don't arrest your mom, we could be charged with a crime. So she's got to go. She won't be in jail long, because thankfully COVID, like, they don't keep anybody.
See, if we did that, they'd still be in our holding because you can't bond out because it's domestic battery. Then they have to go for a bond hearing at county, which they would most likely give them an I bond, signature bond, your recognizance bond. But they can't return home for 72 hours if that person lives in that house.
Yeah, this guy doesn't live there.
Okay.
But so the way it works for us is, like, we don't have the staffing for a holding cell. So thankfully, like, we are on the same city block as county jail.
Yeah.
So we just go take them there, drop them off. She'll get fingerprinted, picture taken, and then because it's felony domestic violence, there's some offenses that you deal with enough that you know what the bail schedule is for all that. And for COVID, it's been pretty simple. It's 0. So, but with felony domestic violence, you have to see a magistrate. So she's got to see a judge. The only thing I don't know is if they had a night judge on call that could arraign her that night, or if she was going to have to wait until the morning and see a judge then. So hopefully she saw a judge last night and was out early this morning. That's what I'm hoping, because she works 3 jobs to support her 3 boys. And it's just, yeah, it just sucks, man.
I was going to make a night court reference.
Yeah, night court.
I didn't know if you'd even know what that is, honestly.
I know what it is. I don't think I've seen more than like 1 or 2 episodes in my entire life, but I know what it is.
Okay. Because that would have been, Judge Harry could have presided in the night court last night with Bull and everybody else involved.
Is there somewhere that I could stream that?
I think it must be on Hulu or something, because I'm currently watching Frasier, which is on Hulu. Not currently as we're doing the show, but I'm rewatching the series, and I had to find it on Hulu. And Cheers is on there as well. I watched Cheers.
That's awesome.
On Netflix, and then they took it off of Netflix, but it's now on Hulu. So I'm looking
Google
for you
Night
right
Court. American sitcom. All watch options. YouTube, but I got to pay for it. I got to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it.
No, you don't want to pay for it.
I want free stuff. Oh, well. Oh well.
It's
So
not,
that was
it's not on Hulu, just so you know.
yeah. That was my week in a nutshell, Mike.
Okay.
How was yours?
Mine was short because I just worked 2 nights on my regular job since we last recorded, and then 1 night at my part-time job. Monday and Tuesday night were actually pretty nice at work. I would like to be bored at work every night because that means I'm not fighting people and, getting shot at and everything else, which doesn't happen a lot. But on Monday night, we had a call for, I was the backup officer for the 2 zones. So that's either a good thing, like on a Monday, because I told you the other day that 60% of our call load we handle by ourselves.
Yeah.
Noise complaints, domestics, and stuff, we send 2 guys, and the backup guy is always the Rove car. So the Rove guy goes back up to the 2 zones, and then if zone guy is busy, Rove guy becomes zone guy. So we got a complaint that some woman was threatened physically with violence, and she called on us to tell us that the female woman who did it to her is outside right now drinking, and she has video to prove it. Doesn't want to see the police.
But how are you going to see the video?
Just go talk to the subject for whatever reason, but I don't want to see the police. I don't understand. That's when I'm as a call taker goes, the fuck do you want these guys to do? You don't want to go any further with it, but you want them to respond. So we went.
Yeah, solve my problem.
Right. I made contact with this chick. She's outside having a drink with her daughter, who's like 7 or something, and another neighbor.
Was the daughter like having chocolate milk?
No, actually.
Or did she have a vodka tonic too?
No, she actually was just playing like a 7-year-old, which was nice to see. And as soon as the police show up, it was a black female, so she goes, "Oh, I know." And she looks at her friend and says, "Take my daughter out of here." God forbid. Yeah. Brandon just held up his phone. God forbid she speaks to the police in front of her daughter and there's not a confrontation. Whatever.
I'll play devil's advocate with you.
Okay, because I like when you do that.
Okay. So she may know that she has beef with this person that may have line of sight on her. And she knows that she might have, there might be a conversation that she doesn't want her daughter to hear, right? So I can understand, hey, if this does go the route of me going in handcuffs, I don't want my kid to see that. So I'll just playing devil's advocate with you.
Yo, that's good. Here's the first thing I told her when I saw her. "Hey, how you doing?" "Okay." I get the old look of disapproval. We're just out
That's
here
my
having...
favorite thing.
Right.
I just show up and "Hi, how are you?"
We're just having a drink outside. We ain't bothering anybody. I'm like, okay. Well, they're in between 2 gangways of long apartment buildings. So it echoes a lot. And it's like 10 o'clock at night. So I told her, someone in these 2 buildings, one of these 2 buildings, made a complaint of some noise. Now, I told you what the call was, but I'm not telling her.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to know. Because the complainant doesn't want to see me.
Yeah, if you have an uncooperative, I guess, victim,
Yeah.
then no victim, no crime.
Right. So I just told her, "Hey, can you just keep it down and make sure you guys go in soon?" And then right away she goes, "Oh, I know who it was. It's her." And she's pointing up to the 2nd floor window. And I'm like, "Oh, why do you say that?"
Because I said I'd fuck her up.
"Well, we've been having issues." I'm like, "Okay. Does she live below you or above you?" She's like, "No, I live right there." So she lives across the hall from each other.
Oh, shit. It's problematic.
I'm like, "Is there a possibility that when I leave, you guys have no contact with each other?" She goes, "I ain't fucking going to go talk to her.
That's the right answer.
I'm out here having a drink with my friends." And then, of course, another neighbor comes down because the police are there.
Yeah.
"What's going
Now
on?" So He wants to poke his nose in everybody's business. So she just said nothing. So-and-so called. And I said, come on now. We don't know it was her. Just trying to keep
I always
the
tell
peace.
people, like, I have no clue who called. Like,
Right.
they
I
don't
say
tell
that.
me.
They don't believe us.
Who called? I don't know, man. They don't tell me.
Right.
Bullshit. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I know exactly who called.
Sometimes we don't, though, because we do have people that want to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
And I told you, by Illinois law, then we don't have to go on those calls.
That's awesome.
If you don't want to
wish that was a
provide name and date
California
of
law.
birth, yeah, no contact information, no, we don't have to go. So anyways, that ended fine. I looked at Gio because it was his call, but I had already solved it before he walked up. And I looked at him and I go, I looked at her and I said, okay, cool. Don't talk to her. Keep it down so you don't bother anybody. We're going to go. And I looked at him and I said, is that cool with you? It's your call. He goes, yeah, I don't give a fuck. So as we're walking away, she's like, I want your names. So we give her our names for whatever reason.
Why do you want to go and do that?
Because she had said, oh, we deal with y'all all the time. And I go, I've never met you. I don't even know who you are. It's like Thanos when in the final movie and what's her name? Scarlet Witch goes, you took everything from me. And he goes, I don't even know who the fuck you are.
I don't even know who you are.
Right. So we walked away from that. It was nice. Then we had the annual anyone who lives in an apartment complaint that the kids are running on the floor above us.
Oh, I hate that. I've yelled at those people. Like, I won't go up to the apartment where the kids are. I will go to the person complaining. I go, are they making the noise right now? Yeah, they were just right now. Cool. Let me hear it. How old are they? I think they're like 5, 6. I'm like, yeah, it's called being a kid. You can buy earplugs at Walmart for like $1.
Or move to a house. Because here's my deal with apartment life.
Well, I can't tell people just move into a house in the middle of
no, you can't.
the San Francisco Bay Area because
with $1 million, $2 million house.
I'm paid well. Okay, like I'm paid real well, and I cannot afford a house.
Right. Well,
in the community that I police.
That's my point to these people: is you live in an apartment, and I grew up in apartments. I know what I'm talking about. Walls and floors are thin. You're going to hear people yelling, screaming, fighting, throwing, bouncing, jumping, skipping, hopping, all that stuff. It's part of apartment life. Screwing. Right. So I'm not going to knock on those doors either. But it wasn't my call. Danny went up to talk to the people whose kids were running around. I'm like, all right. So they answered the door. They were older children, maybe preteens. Asked to speak to a parent. Parent came to the door. He said, it's 10 o'clock. I know you have a full house. Just hoping you can kind of not run back and forth and keep it down. So then we went back down to speak to the people again, the complainants. And he told them, listen, there's really not much we can do. They're not purposely doing it. They're just living their lives with children in their home and they're walking above your head. So kind of have to deal with it.
I went to one of those calls with a younger, I feel weird saying that because I only have 3 years on.
Yeah. But a younger officer.
But a younger officer, even younger than me, not just in age, but experience. And he was like, okay, we're going to go up there and talk to the family. I'm like, hey, dude, your call. It's your call. I will back you until we are going to get sued.
Right.
And we went up there and like, it was like a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. And they were playing like Nerf wars.
Nice.
So we played with them.
Awesome. Make the loud noise worse.
Yeah. So then we went down and we're like, yeah, we talked to them. I couldn't help myself. I go, yeah, those kids are really fun.
I know. I'm the same way.
They're like, oh, that was all you guys make. Yeah, that was us making that noise.
We were
Get
playing
over it.
Nerf wars.
They have like 8 Nerf guns. It was amazing.
You're doing John Woo stuff where you're diving, shooting at 2 hands.
Well, and then I started telling them that I had a Nerf minigun. And it was belt fed and just boom, 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 boom.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I don't know where I was going with that, but
well, in reference to talking to people that complain about noise, And the new guy
And
wanted
I
to go
just-
talk to him.
Yeah. So I ended up telling the person that called, like, dude, get over it. They're kids.
Yeah, let
Find
them be
something
kids.
else to be miserable
You're
about.
lucky they're not throwing rocks through your windows. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
And
And
the
we
last,
got
sorry,
we got downstairs and I told my buddy, I go, that's why I don't go up to the parent house. I yell at the RP and then I leave.
the last department I worked at, it's out in the country, and a lot of lakes and stuff around the homes that they build. They, put lakes in and stuff. And we had a call one night of, there's kids in my yard and they're fishing for frogs. Well, all these backyards, they go towards the lake, but there is like an easement around the lake where anybody can walk there. It belongs to the subdivision, and if you live in the subdivision, you can walk around this lake, even though there's
Yeah, you have
someone's
access
house
to the
up there.
lake.
Right. So we had to go out there, and all these kids were doing, they had a pole with a net, and they were
Catching
catching frogs. And I said to the complainants, I'm like, would you rather these kids be throwing shit through your windows? Well, no, we don't want that. I go, they're just being kids. Leave them alone. It's
What do
not
you
even
think they're
past
going to
curfew.
do? What do you think they're going to do when I tell them that you called the police on them because they were catching frogs? I guarantee you there will be a burning bag of crap
On your front
doorstep.
door. Don't step on it to put it out.
And I know this
Use water.
because I will tell them about this.
Right. You know what you do, kids? Get a big bag of poop, light it on
We know
fire,
a thing or two
and ring
because
the
we've
doorbell.
done a thing or two.
Right. You and the guy from Farmers Insurance.
No. I changed it up. Not because I've seen a thing or two. Because
you've
I've done a
the
thing or two.
Yeah. You don't want to get into
Just
my
kidding.
childhood.
Just kidding. I definitely have never, ever done that
Right.
because that would be wrong.
Anybody who did a previous background check on me, I'm just embellishing for the show.
This is all for entertainment purposes only.
So I like to do a mileage run. That's where we pretend like we were patrolling, but we just do like an outskirts of town on highways, and we don't actually go into the neighborhood to see stuff. So usually at like 1:30 in the morning, traffic, is calmed down. And I like to drive along the airport and into the next city that's north of me, and then east towards the other big city that's next to me, and then south. And then, so put on some tunes, put the windows down. So I'm cruising north on this big major road where it's 55 miles an hour. And I'm coming up to an intersection. So there's 3 lanes northbound, 2 lanes left-hand turn lane, 1 lane right-hand turn lane, and then 5 lanes southbound. So it's a big road, And I see this guy in a van in front of me. He's cruising along at 55, puts the signal on, which was really nice, into to the right, and he just goes into the right-hand turn lane, has a signal on, and stops. He's in the right-hand turn lane, approximately 200, 300 feet south of the light, and he just stops there. So I'm like, okay. So I pull up next to him and put my backlights on so I don't get hit by a drunk driver. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He rolls down his window. He looks at me. Hi. I'm like, hi. What are you doing? Oh, I'm an Uber driver, and I'm just waiting for my fare. I go, you're parked in a turn lane on a state highway. Yeah? I go, you can't, what? Yeah, what? You can't do that.
That doesn't seem odd to you?
I'm like, listen, man, there's an empty McDonald's right there. There's 3 hotels right here. Can you please get off the road so you don't get rear-ended by a drunk guy driving a truck? What? I don't get it, Brandon. I just don't get it. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. I'm an Uber driver. You see, that exempts them from any and all traffic laws.
God forbid any member of my family ever rides in this guy's car. Right? They might never make it home.
We had an Uber driver in San Diego. He put up one of those plastic partitions
In his car?
Yeah, to separate like front and back.
So
which is
COVID
fine.
can't get to him?
Yeah, it definitely can't go over or
Right.
under. But the miserable thing about that was,
You can't see behind you?
no, it was that it blocked the air conditioning.
Oh, those poor people in the back.
Yeah, mainly me and my wife. And which made it, I was a little bit okay when he ran the red light close to the hotel. I was like, dude, just go so I
Just
can get in
get.
this damn car.
Matter of fact, hold my badge out the window so we don't get stopped while you do it.
It's like, oh man.
The
Yeah, dude,
badge,
I don't get Uber drivers, man.
they're not good drivers. I can't say all of them because I was an Uber driver and I'm a fantastic driver.
Same here. I once took a prostitute from a John to her pimp.
While you were still a police officer?
No, it was when I was in the hiring process.
Okay. I was a police officer and I picked up some kid who just came back from Colorado and growing weed. I'm like, you need to get out of my car. All right, so the highlight of Tuesday, we had a major storm. That wasn't the highlight, but it was,
Can you send some of that rain this way? We need it.
I would love to maybe help put out those fires as well.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be nice if I could breathe again.
But the highlight was we tried Wingstop. Do you have Wingstop out by you?
Yeah, hell yeah, we do, man.
All right, I don't know if they're regional or not. Like In-N-Out Burger, nowhere around here. I wish it was because I'd eat there all the time. I saw one down in San Antonio, and I'm like, oh my God, there's an In-N-Out Burger. It wasn't anywhere near a time I wanted to eat, so I just drove past it.
So you did.
We didn't have it. I know. If I see one, I don't pass up the chance to eat one.
Yeah, you gotta get on that, man.
I know.
You could have had a great chance to get In-N-Out and Whataburger and finally settle the debate once and for all that In-N-Out is far and away superior to Whataburger.
See, we
will fight anybody.
We had a Whataburger 2 blocks from our hotel. I've never eaten there, and I didn't want a burger, so I didn't go to the Whataburger. We walked past it every day, but never tried them. But I swear that In-N-Out Burger is like crack.
It is made. It's like Chick-fil-A.
I hate Chick-fil-A. I've never actually had a good chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. Your face right now is awesome.
Well, this is the final show of the Handcuffs and
We
Sawdust
lasted
podcast.
20. Well, no, it's not because it's Mike's podcast. So this is the final show that Brandon's going to be a co-host. I can't. I'm sorry. Listen, man, I've tried it twice.
That is Jesus's chicken.
Well, he should send it back because I'm not. I will tell you that I love their waffle fries. Other than that, pass. Best 2 chicken sandwiches on earth right now are the Popeyes chicken sandwich and the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Mike, we're gonna fight.
We are gonna fight. Listen,
We're gonna throw down.
when I come out by you, I'll bring you a Popeyes chicken sandwich,
I've had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
and then you can bring me to whatever godlike Chick-fil-A
It is
place you want
Chick-fil-A.
to, but it's always going to be the same to me. Not good.
It is heavenly. It is made with love.
From Angel's Wings.
Yeah,
I
that
don't buy
worked
it.
there.
No. Not feeling it. So anyways, we tried Wingstop. Had my first Wingstop ever. And at first, I had the habanero something or other and the barbecue. I had 10-piece.
The barbecue's solid.
It was actually really well. I'm used to eating B-dubs. And those wings seem to be B-dubs
Inferior.
wings. Well, they're like crispier. So this was the first time I had a wing that was soft. And at first, I'm like, ooh, soft breading. But by the 8th wing, I was like, ooh, soft breading. It was like rubber.
So what you're telling me is at first you were like, oh, yeah, soft. And then later on you were like, I need something hard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
So that was the highlight of Tuesday, Wingstop. That's funny. We got for 3 of us. So the sergeant goes, we actually had a
Did
full
you get
shift.
the wings or did you get their new thighs?
No wings. I had wings.
Okay. I haven't tried the thighs yet. They just came out with those.
Okay. I won't do dark meat. Pause for dramatic effect. I've heard it's all pink on the inside. I don't really know. Anyways.
If your chicken's pink on the inside,
It's not good to eat.
Please don't eat it.
Yeah, that's only good for steaks. So the sergeant goes, 3 of you are eating that? We're like, yeah. We actually had a full shift. For us was 5 guys because we don't have 6 on our shift.
Also a solid burger.
Right.
It's just overpriced.
And the sergeant goes, we said, yeah, 3 of us are eating it. And he's like, next time I'm only demanding that only 2 of you eat it so we don't have 3 guys down on the shitter at the same time. I think it was just mad that we didn't
doesn't give you
offer
the
it for him.
shits.
It actually did not. I was surprised because I had heard that they're oily or more oily than. And if anybody from Wingstop's listening and would like to sponsor the show, we're good for that. I could eat Wingstop.
God. Yes. If Wingstop, if you're listening and you want to sponsor, I will. Whew.
You got a couple guys that will eat your product.
We're gonna need a fitness sponsor too, because I'm gonna gain a lot of weight.
So at work, this is my 60-hour week, right? I'm only off last night and tonight. So last night I thought, why not work another 10 at my side job?
Do you hate yourself?
I don't know. I'm thinking apparently I don't want to get in the wood shop. So I worked the gig. It's an overnight at a convention center for a trade show. It's easy money. I brought my computer. I was trying to, I did the rundown for the show tonight and all that kind of stuff. So in the morning, I'm waiting to go home. And I had gotten up at 2 in the afternoon yesterday. So I'm supposed to be working until 9 in the morning. I was completely exhausted. So I'm sitting in one of the sections that is all set up for the whatever company that wants to do a demonstration. And some guy comes sauntering over in a suit. And he goes, you got here early, because I think the show opened at 9 and it was like 8:15 or whatever. And I said, no, I've been here all night. Now I'm wearing black with a badge, a gun, and cuffs. Maybe he can't see the badge and the gun because I'm sitting in a chair and it's on my right side and he's standing on my left. But I'm wearing a polo. So he goes, yeah, we did some business with you. Like, here we go. This is going to be good. He thinks I work for the company.
Oh, yeah. I totally remember that. Yeah,
they have
you shorted me $10,000. You going to make that right?
They make these big silos, the company whose booth I'm sitting in or at, because there's a blown up one right behind me, and there's pictures of these big stainless steel silos. So he starts telling me about a story about a customer that bought one of my products, he thought, and there was stuff flaking off inside, and it turned out to be paint. And the whole time I'm just shaking my head, and I'm thinking, you have no fucking clue what I'm doing here, do you? And then he goes, that's why you never paint the inside. Go with stainless steel every time. And I'm like,
I couldn't agree with you more.
like, right. And then he fucking walked away. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Guy thinks I work for this company. So I walked over to the other copper who was working with me, and I go, hey, apparently I just got a job here. He's like, where? I go, that guy thought I worked for this company. People are so stupid.
Yeah, case of mistaken identity. Walking out this morning, there was a kid that's on FTO that's working day shift, and I'm walking out, civilian clothes, and he looks at me and he goes, have a good night, Sarge.
Did you automatically grow stripes on your arm?
I just looked at him. What?
Were you in your uniform?
No.
Oh, so you were in plain clothes coming in.
Yeah. I was leaving. I was going home.
You change at work.
Yeah. So okay. I know his primary FTO on midnight, so I sent him a text. I go, hey man, your recruit just called me sergeant. So, and his issue in the first rotation was navigation.
Observation skills?
No, it was navigation.
Okay.
So I told him, I go, look, dude, I don't care how lost he gets when he comes back to you. You pass him. He's a good kid.
Okay.
If he's willing to promote me,
right.
He's a good kid.
That's funny. So that's it for work. And I just wanted to do a couple quick stories real quick before we get to the fallen officers, because a few things caught my eye.
All right. Quick story number one.
Mayor Turtleface from Chicago
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Right? Have you seen those memes?
Yes.
It's hilarious.
There's a Mike the Cop has a podcast out, and they have a shirt with her face on it, and it says, "You're making me soft."
That's funny. Stop promoting other people's podcasts on our podcast.
Well, you were promoting Sean Sticks Larson's podcast, so
I just said he had one.
I didn't say the name of this one. I just said it's Mike the Cop.
Okay. Chicago announces
Who
COVID
I'm trying to get on
vaccine
the show.
mandate. Yeah, I know. Keep trying harder. Chicago announces COVID vaccine mandate for city workers. So the Chicago Fraternal, let's try that again. The Chicago Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, which is also the union I belong to, has said it will oppose the vaccine mandate. So they want everyone by October 15th must be fully vaccinated if you're a Chicago worker.
Yeah, we're in the middle of that too. We just had, on Monday was the deadline to provide proof of vaccination or to start providing your weekly negative tests. We have a number of officers who are adamantly opposed to the vaccine mandate and approximately 75 that are willing to lose their jobs over it.
Now, they did stipulate that if it's medical or religious belief, then you would be okay.
You have,
so how
you
many
have
people
to
these
apply
get? Right,
for an
it has to be
exemption.
reviewed. How many of those are going to be up?
Well,
in
I
upper
think these
management
guys.
soon?
I think none of these guys are. They're going to get. It's.
I don't see how you can make
it's gonna
someone do
be-
something to their body that.
Well, see, and I normally would be on that side, but we're mandated to take MMR, like Hep C. Like, there's a series of vaccinations we had to get to become cops here for the city I work for.
Us too.
So now that we have my issue is when you're mandating something that's not received full FDA approval, which I know the Pfizer one has. However, the majority of our department received Moderna.
Me too.
So, yeah. And I had side effects that were bad enough where I missed 2 days of work. So, it's so freaking complicated that I 100% agree with them that it shouldn't be mandated, especially while not, we only have one that has full FDA approval. But I also see the city's point of, well,
Sure.
you take, you had the MMR, you had all this other stuff. What's this one? I mean, these are all FDA approved. So I get where they're coming from. I just disagree the way they're going about it because they're mandating a vaccine that's not FDA approved. It's supposed to be flipped. You're supposed to go through, get the FDA approval, then mandate.
Right.
So and then now the city's starting to pass things like a vaccine passport, where to get into a city-owned building at events of 50 or more, you're going to have to provide proof of vaccination, or you will not be allowed in.
Yeah. All right.
Which I like, and I honestly don't know enough about HIPAA laws, but that feels like it's a violation of HIPAA law.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's another thing I could get on a soapbox about, but I'm too tired to do that
All right,
tonight.
get down from the box. We don't have much time.
I didn't even get up on the box.
The box is next to
And
you.
by the way, what
Yeah.
the hell is with the Chicago PD and doing the stupid milk crate challenge? Like, is somebody trying to get killed? Like,
I
to
don't know.
just go unconscious and then somebody grab their gun and pop them in the head?
Luckily, her partner caught her.
Like, just don't. Why are you doing it in the first place? Where was the partner before you got on the damn crates?
He was standing right next to it.
Dipshit.
They're trying to look good in the hood.
Don't care.
So the hoodies, can trust the popo.
Oh, yeah. Standing on a bunch of fucking milk crates. That's going to, that hearts and minds, bro. Hearts and minds.
All right. Second story I heard caught my eye. No, it's okay.
Get a little riled.
Man faces felony gun charge less than 48 hours after having gun case dropped in restorative justice court.
Womp, womp, womp. I still prefer mine.
Friday was a big day for 21-year-old Armando Rodriguez. Prosecutors wiped his slate clean by dropping 4 felony gun charges he was facing in Avondale Restorative Justice Court. Less than 36 hours later, police allegedly found an intoxicated Rodriguez sitting in a car with a gun on his lap at a near North Side gas station. Prosecutors on Sunday charged him with a fresh felony gun charge. This is Cook County.
Are they going to let this one go too? I mean, this one's only one gun charge. I mean, they let the four-banger go.
When Cook County Chief Judge Timothy Evans announced the Avondale Restorative Justice Community Court last summer, which sounds like a bunch of bullshit, he said the court would resolve conflicts through, quote, restorative conferences and peace circles, instead of typical criminal court procedures.
How's that working out for you?
We have recognized for a long time that young people need a second chance. Evans said during the ribbon cutting ceremony.
And a fifth.
Rodriguez, who would become one of the court's first participants, may have blown that second chance in record time. So,
I mean,
okay, here's what happened. What his first case was, police came to a call November 15th of shots fired from a newer model SUV. The car crashed. He climbed out of the car, ran a short distance, returned to the car, grabbed a handgun from the passenger side, and then ran away again.
Oh, shit, forgot my gun.
Right. He then said threw gun under a car.
Shit, they're going to catch me with a gun.
Of course, in Cook County, the car was stolen.
What?
But they couldn't charge him with it because in Cook County, you can just get criminal trespass the vehicle because Cook County is a fucking bunch of idiots. So he then went to court, and where they did this fucking pussy-ass court system, restorative justice program. And, of course, this guy took it so seriously, he's back on the street with a gun. So I thought that was, a big slap in the face to these libs that want to do this kind of shit, because it ain't working. He should be doing time, period.
I can see where they're, again, I'm going to try to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Go ahead, devil.
Because if we just agree with each other, it's not going to be a very interesting show.
Yeah. No, I like to hear the other point of view.
So I could see like, hey, yeah, this kid grew up in a gang neighborhood, maybe gang family. So maybe he doesn't know any different. So we give him a second chance. What you should be doing, though, is you fuck up again within a certain period of time. That would be like, say, more than 36 hours. Like, kind of like probation, almost. You screw up again, not only are you going to deal with a fresh charge, but we're going to bring back this, 4 gun charge case. And you're going to do the whole thing, like mandatory minimum sentencing. I mean, I think that gives enough carrot and stick to maybe get buy-in from people.
I don't think it would work anyways because I'm jaded.
I don't think it would either. I think you would see a greater success rate than just saying, okay, do you promise to not do this again? Yeah, I promise. Okay. We're going to completely drop the charges. And 36 hours later, he's doing the same shit. So.
Right. All right. Shitbag. Okay. Something out of California I liked. San Diego councilman wants San Diegoans to cover lifelong medical care for retired canines.
Oh.
Currently, families who adopt the dogs must cover all medical expenses, which can be substantial.
Yeah, good for him. I like that guy. What's his name? What's his name again?
I'll tell you right now. San Diego council member Chris Kate, Charles Adam Tom Edward, wants the city's police dogs to get the same kind of lifelong health care benefits that human police officers get. He says these dogs are faithful public servants and countless lives have been saved and preserved due to their efforts. The police
let's face it, they are good boys.
They are. The police dog is an athlete. Like all athletes, over time, the activities take a toll on the body. So that's the gist of it. Right now, they have 36 police dogs. In the past, have had as many as 52 10 years ago. There is a nonprofit San Diego Police Canine Association that tries to help with the costs.
That's awesome.
Which is very cool. Kate previously led the council's Public Safety Committee. His father was a California Highway Patrol officer.
Okay, there we go.
And the National Police Dog Foundation also gives grants for police dog medical care to law enforcement agencies and people who adopt retired police dogs. So that was a story that caught my eye because it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we actually have a lieutenant. He would say in briefing, especially on like Friday and Saturday nights, when like the bars downtown are going to be hairy. He goes, "Hey, remember, you have to remember two things. Y'all are pro athletes." And they point to this badge, and he goes, "And his badge don't say punk ass bitch."
Nice, I like that.
He's a colorful guy. I like him.
Good
I wish he
words of
could come back
wisdom
to patrol.
He's left you.
No, he's in investigations now. I wish he'd come back to
Yeah.
the streets.
He left patrol.
I know. I want him to come back.
Maybe you should write a petition.
I would.
All right. You should.
Every time I see him, I go, "When you come back to the street, let's go."
Hey, I
You need
begged
to
my lieutenant who just retired, I begged him to come back to the street for years.
Yeah. Tell him, because he always calls his baton. He goes, "Hey, this is my take no shit stick."
Nice.
He's so old. And for those of you who are like, "This sounds like your stereotypical white cop," like, he's about as dark as Wesley Snipes, so shut up.
Nice. One of my favorite stories with my former sergeant, who's then lieutenant and then commander and retired, my buddy Eddie, who I've referenced in the past on the show. We went to a call for some guy in the woods causing trouble or some bullshit. So we had 4 guys. We separated. I'm with Ed. The other 2 guys are on the other side of the forest preserve. And we're just walking. It's nighttime. We got our flashlights out. And he goes, "I think we're separated from our group." I'm like, okay. He pulls his gun out. He goes, "Should I fire a round off in the air so they know where we're at?" And I'm like, he was completely pulling my chain, but I thought he was serious. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I'm just fucking with you." And he put his gun back in his holster. I miss Ed. All right. Well, it's time to stop laughing and get serious for a few minutes.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Time for everyone's weekly dose of depression.
Yes. We are going to discuss the fallen officers of the week. And luckily, we only have a few to speak about. So the first one, Branch County Sheriff's Office in Michigan, Corrections Deputy Kevin Kokonis. End of watch Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. From COVID-19. Corrections Deputy Kevin Kokonis died from complications as a result of contracting COVID-19 while working at the Branch County Jail. He served 22 years. He is survived by his wife, 3 sons, 6 grandchildren, and 2 brothers. He was 61 years old and in his 22nd year of duty. The second one, Trooper James J. Manda, New York State Police, end of watch Sunday, August 22nd. Trooper James Manda drowned while conducting a training dive in the Great Sacandaga Lake in Northampton, New York at approximately 4 p.m. He failed to resurface after going into the water at a boat launch on Bunker Hill Road. He was working a Marine Patrol detail on the lake when the incident occurred. Trooper Manda had served with the New York State Police for 18 years and was assigned to SP Princetown. He is survived by his fiancée and parents. He was 45 years old. Detective Manuel Chris Widner of the Paris Police Department in Texas, end of watch Sunday, August 22nd. Detective Chris Widner died from complications of contracting COVID-19 while performing his duties as an investigator. Detective Widner served with the Paris Police Department for 11 years. He is survived by his wife and son. 47 years old, 11 years and 3 months of service. His badge number was 2435. And Deputy Sheriff Christopher Broadhead of the Polk County Sheriff's Office in Florida. End of watch Monday, August 23rd, 2021. Deputy Sheriff Christopher Broadhead died from complications as a result of contracting COVID-19 in the line of duty. Deputy Broadhead served with the Polk County Sheriff's Office for 10 years. He is survived by his wife and 5 children. He was 32 years young, had served 10 years, and his badge number was 7473. So a prayer goes out to all of those families this week. All right. No canines. So that was good. All right, we have Heroes of the Week once again, just doing one. We're moving up the list. And we do have a Badass of the Week. So they could actually be the same if you'd like. Let's make it the same.
Okay, go for it.
Let's make it the same. There is a video that goes with this. So you guys can see it at policeone.com. With seconds to spare, NYPD cop pulls man from subway tracks.
And that guy was not helping at all.
The train is now approaching the station, the loudspeaker says. Moments later, the subway platform is in chaos.
Oh, no.
Byline, New York, hello. 3 people, including an NYPD officer, are standing on the subway tracks when the cool voice of the loudspeaker says, "The train is now approaching the station." The subway platform is in chaos. Hurry up, a bystander says.
Help him!
Up,
Help
up,
him.
up, someone else shouts. You can practically hear the seconds ticking away. On Thursday, NYPD shared cell phone video of the dramatic rescue, which quickly racked up thousands of likes, because that's important nowadays when you have social media.
Don't forget to like, share, and review.
That's right. When a sick strap hanger lost... Now, I'm reading this verbatim. Okay? I thought a guy fell on the tracks, but apparently...
I'm reading this verbatim. I'm not having a stroke, I promise.
When a sick strap hanger lost consciousness and fell on the subway tracks in the Bronx, NYPD transit officers didn't hesitate for a moment to put his safety ahead of their own. That's what the agency wrote on Twitter. I don't know what a strap hanger is.
No clue what it is, but the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw this was that that Thor meme, because that's what heroes do.
In the video, a man is seen laying across the tracks and appears disoriented. An officer, later identified by ABC7 as Lupin Lopez. Officer Lopez jumps down to help. With the help of a good Samaritan, apparently who has no name, Lopez pushes the ill man up onto the platform. The train is just rounding the corner as Lopez and the good Samaritan are pulled to safety. The whole station breaks into applause.
Yay!
Oh, wrong one. Here we go. Clapping. Oh, I can't.
That's sad music.
There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Still playing the sad
Yay!
That's from the whole platform there that was watching. It's a pretty cool video, and the train actually, I thought it was overstated and overblown and stuff, but the train actually, as soon as they get up off the platform, the train comes around the corner. So
Yeah.
and then
So it's not like, it wasn't like out of a movie where like they get off of the tracks
as the
as
train's
the
going
train
by?
comes by.
right,
But it's
Close
close
enough
enough
for
that I
me.
probably would have pooped.
yeah. So if you guys get a chance to check out the video, it's worth seeing. All right, so that concludes our law enforcement portion of the show tonight. Brandon's on a quick schedule. We're going to get out of here quick today. He's tired.
Well, it's funny because every week for like the last month and a half, we've said like, okay, look, it's usually Mike. He's like, look, man, really tired.
Yeah.
We got to make this one a quick one.
2 hours.
Okay,
later.
fine.
Yeah.
And like I think our last 4 episodes, every night he says that, it's like every episode is an hour 30 plus.
Or 2 hours, the last one.
Or 2 hours.
It actually went fast though, because I've listened twice, and it's actually a good listen.
Yeah, it's a good one. I was listening to it last night.
That's funny. Were you pausing it when you got out of the squad?
Yes, I was like reaching down to my Apple Watch, like pause it.
See, you can make time to pause it.
Yeah, because I didn't have any hot calls because I was back working on the west side of the city for the night.
West side.
I had all the rich people.
So I don't have any shop stuff because, haven't been in the shop in a month. I do have one thing. I showed you on Instagram. A friend of mine who's a firefighter wants me to engrave a sign for him. So he just wants like 8x10 or maybe 8x11. And it's a saying. Hold on. I have it right here. It says, of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are dirt. And then his wife drew some pictures of mountains, and I think they're pine trees.
They look like pine trees.
Yeah, so then he sent me an actual...
Those are fine pines.
Fine pines. I am going to scan this into my HP scanner, and then I can import it into my Vectric VCarve software, and then bitmap trace it, and then I can engrave it on some wood. But he also sent me a picture of what he wants, what he thought he might want instead, and it's actually like there's a dirt bike going down a mountainside. I'm showing the camera. I'll actually just put a picture of it.
Out of focus?
Yeah, But anyways, it's pretty cool. So I think he would actually like this one that I'm showing on my phone and not the one his wife drew, but I have to verify that with him. So that's a project. And then like this week, I'm only off tonight and last night, so I don't have any shop time. But next week, I only work one night, and that's Thursday. I'm off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I go in Thursday night. Then I'm off from Friday. Leave on vacation Monday the 6th. We're going to hike in Wyoming. And don't return till September 11th. And which reminds me, that Friday the 3rd, we'll be doing our 9/11 recording. And then I don't go back till that Wednesday. So I've got a lot of time coming up. Even when I get back from my hike, where I'll be doing, I'm going to get all the wood because I have 5 flags in order. I'm going to just batch out all the wood. And then I might tonight engrave the badge for this big flag I'm doing because I engraved it once. I did a test engraving, and I refigured everything how it should turn out. I've got a block of wood that's stained and ready to be engraved. I just haven't been down here to do it. And it's like an hour-long engraving. So I think I might just do that and worry about editing our podcast over the next 3 nights while I'm at work, if I can go hide somewhere. So, because I just want to get back in the shop. So,
yeah.
But that's basically all I have for shop stuff because I haven't been down here. What are you moving on to in the house remodel?
So, I think we finally settled on a door design.
Cool.
So, we're going to have to figure out a good time to rent a pickup truck to go to Home Depot to get the plywood for it and all the hardware, which won't be this weekend. So I started cleaning up my shop Sunday. Got most of it pretty much squared away. We got these little like puzzle piece, like kind of foam mats to put around like the assembly table and stuff.
Yeah, from Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. So I got those all put down.
Cool.
Got the laser mounted on the machine. Yeah, laser. Got that mounted. So I still got to clean off so I have my assembly table and outfeed table, and then I have like a little workbench. So I got to clean up the workbench. And then I've got a cutting board that I've been neglecting.
Me too, since November.
Yeah, but it's one of those things I was just building. I was just making it just to make it. So it's not like it's anything pressing. But I have a buddy that just got married, so I think that's going to end up being like a wedding gift.
Oh, cool.
So, and then that's pretty much it. And then once we figure out when we want to go rent the truck, we'll go pick up the plywood and stuff, and then I'll get working on the doors and check that off and then start grabbing stuff to make cabinet doors
Nice.
and start batching those out here and there when I can, because I know that I'm going to start kind of opening up. My goal is to have I finally made the decision between website and Etsy shop. I'm going to do an Etsy shop because you brought up a good point of, do I do enough online sales to offset the cost, which I don't think I will. So at least to start, until I can build up that kind of client base, go through Etsy, and their prices just have to be a little bit higher to offset some of the costs or some of the fees that Etsy has.
They're not actually that bad, but
yeah,
it's funny that
it's
you
like
said
nickel
that.
and diming you.
Yeah, especially once you start adding, like I have 40 items on there
Mm-hmm.
at 20 cents a listing. You know what I mean? That stuff adds up.
Yeah.
But I just watched a video last night from Brad at Fix This Build That, and it was on how to sell cutting boards to make money. I was just killing time, and I miss watching some of his content. But he mentioned that he wouldn't be on Etsy, and he would rather do a website, because when you do a search on Etsy for cutting board, there's like 56,000. I mean, just an extraordinary amount. Whereas if you use Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and your social media on Instagram to direct people towards your website, you might have more success. So I'm still on Etsy and will be until I finally change my business name, shortly.
Yeah.
Remember I showed you my new logo. I'm going to be switching over to Marazzo Woodworking. But Danny at work made a point. He's like, why do you still have a moon in your logo, even though it's a crescent moon and it's got the wood grain on it? He goes, you're not going to be doing stuff at midnight anymore. And
well, it's an homage to the beginning.
I thought so too. And he goes, I didn't even think it was a moon. It just looks like the actual logo is creeping over into a circle behind it, which is actually made of wood. That's what he thought it was. He didn't think it was an actual crescent moon with a wood grain on it. So I don't know. I might need some more
I
advice.
like it.
Okay. So you're going to be doing doors and all that kind of stuff. I looked at prices for plywood yesterday, talking with a friend.
Down.
Oh my God. It's
going
made
down.
a huge difference.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Because
Now's
even
the time.
because when I bought the plywood for the pantry, it was for birch plywood. It was like 76 for 3/4 inch full sheet. A couple weeks later, maple ply 3/4 inch full sheet was 60.
Okay.
So
I like maple ply.
It's trending I do too. I like the birch plywood though. I really like it. I mean, even though we painted it, I really like the way it looked.
Now Home Depot does that no formaldehyde plywood. That birch, I think it's the Baltic birch, is no formaldehyde, which is obviously better for your home. Yeah. I didn't know this, that like regular plywood has formaldehyde in it, and then those chemicals constantly seep out and get into the air and cause cancer.
Huh.
So the Baltic birch, Pure Bond Baltic birch plywood, no formaldehyde. So it's better for your home.
I think that's the one I bought. I hope that's the one I bought.
Yeah. I did look at your page and saw your finished area there.
Yeah, I ended up having to adjust and put a face frame on it.
Okay.
But worked out nice. I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, it looks good.
I actually had a question for you.
Okay.
Regarding the woodworking stuff. Well, not so much woodworking, but I guess your social media presence and influencer status.
Yeah, okay.
So, because I think a lot of people, especially those that listen to the show, right? We all like, who's going to turn down free shit, right?
Right.
I know that's some people, like, they get into the social media aspect of it with the hopes of like, hey, somebody sends me some free stuff. Like I signed up to be a brand rep through Diablo, and they sent me a bunch of their SandNet stuff, which is fantastic.
Cool.
Fantastic product. So how did you go about getting, like, you just got free masks? Well, the schmuck like me paid for them. So how do you approach businesses, or do they approach you?
They approach me like Duranit for their firm grip gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the mask company that just sent me some masks. They reached out to me and said that they found my profile on Instagram. I don't know if that's true, but probably. I'm on there, but I don't have like 40,000 followers or anything. But they reached out to me and asked if I would give an honest review if they sent me their product, if I would wear it, try it, and then give an honest review on my Instagram page. And I'm like, yeah, send it, because I'll try anything, and if I don't like it, I'm probably still going to say it's okay. I'll tell you.
It's not complete dog shit.
I'll tell the podcast people that listen, but I'll show pictures of it being used. If they were nice enough to send me their product, I'll be nice enough to give it a review. So, but that's, and then that last year I did basically a 30-second commercial for ReuZip, which is a product where you put plastic over an opening somewhere in your house. You put this Velcro zipper on it, you cut it, and then you can open and close the door when you're doing construction and stuff. They sent me, holy crap, tons of stuff to try, and it was right at the time I was remodeling the hallway bathroom. So I did a 30-second, basically commercial for them with that. So people sometimes go, what are you doing that for? If they're nice enough to send me free stuff, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to pay them back by actually promoting it on my Instagram page. It's only fair.
Yeah, that was something I've always been curious about. I'm one of those, I don't want to come across asking for a handout from a company of oh, hey, I'd love to, review your product. But I was curious of, do you reach out, or do others reach out to you?
Haven't reached out yet.
When you use a product, before you're writing a review or anything like that, are you tagging every company that you use?
If I do tag the stuff that I do use, Diablo blades and Laguna, all those things. I tag everything that I use, and then I've only had one giveaway, but because I've tagged all these companies in my giveaways, I then went to them and said, hey man, I'm having a giveaway. I use your products. I tag you often. Yeah, okay, we'll send you something for the giveaway. So that has worked in that way.
Yeah, I did that with I think I've only done 2 giveaways that I've done. I've reached out to Starbond. Driver Back's always been great, and Tight Bond. They're always game to help out the community, because I think they realize, one, it's free advertisement, but 2, we use the shit out of their products.
Oh yeah, I didn't know any of these things 3 years ago, obviously, because I didn't even know what Instagram was. So
yeah,
it's been a learning process for me. And I am slowly growing. It's funny, I don't know how sometimes some of these other Instagram pages just explode. I don't know what the algorithm is. I'll be curious to see that when I actually start posting normal business hours during the day.
Yeah.
If it makes a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I saw the biggest growth on my page right after I won a giveaway.
Yeah, because your name was being out there and people were following you.
Yeah, it was a 4,000 follower giveaway or something like that,
okay.
and I got lucky, and one, it was the first one I had entered.
Cool.
And then I just exploded.
Yeah.
And that's when I've seen the biggest growth, is when I enter and win a giveaway. That's when I'll see a lot of growth on my page, because I think I've been pretty stagnant in the 1,600 range for probably about 6 months.
Mine fluctuates. It's still every day I'm picking up a couple more, but I haven't posted anything on Instagram in 10 days, maybe even 2 weeks, because I haven't been in the shop to post any content.
Yeah.
And they say you need to keep posting, because then you're getting in the feed and the algorithm picks it up. But since I haven't been posting anything, I'm actually still picking up a few here and there. So, and there's something about a 10-day rule as well, where your posts from 10 days ago don't do anything anymore. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. There are people like Mike Coffey who pays attention to the algorithm and all that stuff.
Well, even he's said several times, he's nobody knows how Instagram works, because they had been talking about hashtags on their show.
Yeah.
And how they go about it. And they go, I honestly, nobody really knows how it works, because they all 3 have different ways of doing it. And
right. And different levels of success.
Yeah.
So I still use hashtags. I follow some hashtags, and I think for me, hashtags have worked, bringing new followers.
Yeah. I've actually seen some follow, at least page visits. I'm not getting follows out of it, but page visits from tagging the town I'm in.
Oh, I thought about doing that as well, or at
So,
least the zip code.
yeah. So, and you can add like a location tag.
Right.
I'll add the town I'm in.
Yeah.
And
I
that
use
seems so.
Chicago
Like I usually get
metropolitan
like,
area because I
yeah,
don't really want people to know where I live.
yeah,
Maybe when I'm out of law enforcement, I won't give a shit.
it's okay. Most of the people that live in my town are cops.
Yeah, so you're okay. You live in cop land.
I really do.
Yeah.
Like from like Monterey County, Santa Cruz County, San Benito, Santa Clara. Like they all like this is like the one place that we can all afford to live.
That's cool. That's cool. We do have a question of the week.
I was going to say, don't we have a question?
We do. For those of you who remember Dave Franklin of 516 Woodworks of last week's question, he sent another one. And because no one else is sending us questions, and his question's a really good one, we're going to play it again. At least that's the plan. We'll see if it works. Sometimes it just cuts out. So either way, you'll get to hear it. Here we go.
What's going on, guys?
Or
David
not.
from...
Okay, we'll just pause this for a second because let's try that again, shall we?
What's going on, guys? David from 516 Woodworks here. Guess I'm famous now that my question got played on a...
All right, so apparently it knocked out again for Brandon. He couldn't hear the question.
I know the question. I listened to the audio file earlier.
Yeah, that I sent. It was an excellent question.
It is.
So first of all, let me say that Nelson sent a response as well because he's in our group. He's involved in the show. So Nelson said he too uses a whiteboard and he keeps notes on his phone. However, he quotes, "I do seem to take on too much and always have fallen behind. It's mainly because I get to find his work, full-time work, then military and the workshop. His baby life balance is what hinders him. I, on the other hand, I added a whiteboard to my shop. I'm looking at it right now. I have current jobs, upcoming jobs, shop projects, flags, all sectioned off on there. And then I realize sometimes that I don't look at that board because I have a notes app on my phone like everybody. And anytime I get a new order for flags or whatever, I put it on a running job list order on my phone. And sometimes, especially for the flag ones, I have a dedicated flag note page. I print that out and I post it right next to my miter saw station with all the flags I have to do. So as I'm working on them, I can mark them off. And I have an Excel spreadsheet of in-progress jobs, orders and they're all color-coded. Yellow is these are orders that need to be addressed. Blue are currently working. Gray are done and delivered. So I use all of my resources to make sure I stay organized.
So I do pretty much the same thing. I don't have a whiteboard out in my shop. What I did was I took a piece of printer paper and laminated it over the course of the holiday season last year. And I would have my running list of like name, who it was, and where I was in it. Like, hey, I need to go buy lumber for this one. This one's being stained. This one's, completed, just needs final assembly. This one needs to be shipped, and all that. What I found is really crappy at updating it. So I did kind of the same thing where I'd have a running list on my phone. I do have an Excel spreadsheet that I'll have who it is. I think the rest of you guys have way more business than I do. I try a lot like Nelson. I try to really balance family, my job, and then the stuff out in the workshop. The whole reason I started doing the woodworking was as a way to decompress, not to add stress.
Right, and I have added stress.
So, and I totally did the last holiday season, because I had no clue what I was in for. So like I've been doing this for about a year. I think I just posted something to Instagram just a couple days ago. Like it's been 1 year since I had my first commission build to build a bar, and so to do that around this time of the year and then roll straight into the holiday season was eye-opening. So I feel I'm a little bit better prepared this year to where I'm going to actually have a hard cutoff date, and then I'm going to dedicate 1 day a week to updating the Excel spreadsheet, the notes thing, kind of keep a better handle on what I have going, what's in process, what I need to go get. Like if it's a cutting board, do I pay the increased prices over at like Home Depot and Lowe's, or do I just order from Forest to Home and then have to factor in lead time to get lumber shipped to me? So, but I found the Excel spreadsheet works pretty well. And now what I use that laminated piece of paper for is like what I'm doing that day.
Okay.
Like, hey, I need to plane down this cutting board, do my cuts so I can do the end grain glue up, and then I need to sand this, I need to stain that, I need to finish this.
I sometimes don't look at my list because I'm supposed to be doing a frame for my buddy's taekwondo certificate. I've got, a cutting board from last November I'm supposed to be doing. What happens is I end up getting, the flags are my main business, I guess, right? Unfortunately, because I don't.
Well, they're your bread and butter.
They're my bread and butter. I am, for those of you listening, I'm approaching 100 flags made. Now, for some people, that's not a lot because they crank out flags and bring them to shows and stuff. I don't make a flag that's not already for a customer. I want to. Next year, we have a huge, on Sunday mornings at the Allstate Arena in the parking lot, there's a huge flea market. And people start lining up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I want to start doing that when I'm no longer doing this job. So then I'll make cutting boards, flags, cornhole boards, and stuff for stock that I can bring to a flea market, right? But for now, you order a flag, it goes on a list, I make it. So my point was, I'm going to be selling my 100th flag soon. I'm in the mid-90s now. Whoever orders that 100th flag, I'm not going to tell anybody who it is, they get it for free. I don't care what size it is. I don't care if it has LEDs. It could be a $250 flag because my flags go up to like $275.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a free flag for that person. And I will.
That's awesome.
I'll make that announcement on Instagram at some point and see if I can drive up, a little bit, a few more orders. But I also use that Excel spreadsheet for my finances because I put in how much each product is that I make, what I'm charging that person, and if they've paid me not, or if it's been delivered yet. I have all those columns as well. So it helps me keep a running total of how much money I've made so far since I started this.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I'm going to change about the way I do business. Because before because I was so new at doing this, I was only charging people like, hey, like this is what the price is going to be. I require essentially the cost of materials up front. That way, if they flaked out, I'm not out the money it took to buy the material. Going forward, I'm going to require payment in full to start.
I do that for strangers, but for people I know, I don't even take any money. I make it, then I just and I give it to them. So I'm out the money right off the beginning, but I haven't had a problem yet with anybody.
Yeah.
So
I think with like people, like that's one thing. Like
right.
I have someone that's been a repeat customer time and time again that she pays when she picks up.
Etsy sales, though, they have to pay for you before you even make it,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah, but I think even people that order through like Facebook or Instagram or something like that, like going forward, it's going to be like, look, the price of this product is X, and to get on the list, you must pay X.
There you go.
So, because it was getting to be too much, where people would, they would pay their deposit, but then like, hey, you need to pay this part, because the way I do it now currently is like it's going to be X. You owe half up front, and then whatever the remaining balance is plus shipping, if it has to be shipped.
Yeah, if you have to ship it.
And then now I learned something the hard way when I delivered the dowel table. If like I need to charge a delivery fee if I'm going to deliver it, because essentially I made no money on that.
Right, and Brian just posted in his stories, he delivered a big table, and he actually charges now a delivery fee, where he used to do it for free.
Yeah.
But it's taken up hours of your day.
Well, yeah. Well, for me, I don't have a truck.
You should be compensating yourself. Yeah, you'd have to rent a truck.
Yeah, so I had to rent a U-Haul pickup, drive it up to where it was being delivered.
Right. Yeah.
Come back, fill it up, and then return it. It kind of worked out because I had to go pick up plywood for the pantry, so I just kind of killed two birds with one stone. But essentially, I all my profits went to paying for that truck. So I essentially did that table at cost.
And you have to actually think of that then as an advertising cost for you, because someone's going to see that table in that home and ask, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And it may help you acquire some more customers.
Yeah.
That's how I look at stuff. I just gave away 10 bottle openers to 2 different golf outings. Now, my bottle openers aren't expensive. It might have cost me, that's about a $400 investment for me, just giving them away. But on each bottle opener on the back, I printed out a sheet, on the computer, an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that had my logo. It had all my Instagram stuff, YouTube stuff, and it had a code that they can enter into Etsy to get 20% off an order if they order before September 26th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll see if I get any customers out of that. But when I went to the golf outing from my previous police department, I was there, and one of my former coworkers won 2 of my bottle openers in a basket we gave away. So he's already a customer. And then my friend Roger at the police department I work now, he went to the other golf outing I was telling you about because I was on vacation. He put all his tickets into the basket for the bottle openers and then won like 3 of them. So I'm not going to get any orders from him, I don't think, but maybe he'll pass them along to friends.
Yeah, word of mouth and all that.
Yeah, so. All right. Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Let's get out of here.
Not very dramatic. No, I'm good. We're done.
No words of wisdom this week. No. Nope.
Mean what you say.
Mean what you say. Okay.
And say what you mean.
All right.
And in the absence of leadership, lead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got philosophical this week. I'll go back to like regular, like kooky Brandon next week.
All right. No, it's good.
Actually, no, because we're doing the 9/11 episode next week. We're doing 9/11
tribute next week with JP from the Thin Blue Line Radio.
Sorry, guys. Bear with us for like 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to funny stuff.
Yeah, hopefully. So thanks, everyone, for listening. Remember, new episodes of the Handcuffs and Sawdust podcast are released every Wednesday at midnight on Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. West Coast, 1 a.m. East Coast. That's when they goes live. If they have a question, Brandon, that they would like to send, where could they send that?
Send your audio files to handcuffs&sawdustpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you just want to type it out, send it to Mike at MMMidnightMaker. You can send it to me at Full House Woodworking. Or you can send it to the show page at Full House, or Going off the rails.
See how you're promoting your show, your own
Yep.
page there.
Yeah, I know. I've got to get my numbers up. I want to get to 2,000.
Yeah.
Or you can send it to the show's page at Handcuffs and Sawdust Podcast. Also, leave reviews on Apple. Shoot us up the charts.
Yes, and now that I've finally fixed the show description and everything else, that all the issues I was having with that, for whatever reason, I'm a boob, I'm old, I don't know how to do it. It's all fixed. So I've had numerous people check. It's proper. You can now follow or subscribe, leave a review. That would help us tremendously. And I think it's
Best-
only Apple that does that.
Funniest review, I will send you a prize pack at the end of September.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
there's only one review. It's not very funny. So I don't know.
That's a good
I don't
one.
know if it's going to get a prize pack.
Right, we
but
have to put a stipulation on it. Any new reviews.
Yes. New reviews from August 26th on. Best one, funniest one, most obscure one will get a prize pack from me.
Very nice. Thank you very much for doing that, Brandon. I have nothing to offer at the moment.
And before we leave,
Yes?
a very, very happy birthday to my mommy.
Oh. Happy birthday.
It's her birthday.
I thought you were
today.
going to say happy birthday to my son, which was yesterday. He's 27.
Well, happy birthday to him too. But today is actually my mom's birthday, so happy birthday to her.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom. Hope she had cake.
I
Did she
hope
have
so.
cake?
I don't know.
I say no cake at my birthdays, pies only. Be safe in the shop and on the street.
Paisan!
Peace!
Deuces!